What's up, humans? Welcome to Psicoactivo. Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope your Friday was okay or fun. Happy Mother's Day to whoever is celebrating. Mothers are absolutely sacred, so happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. Okay, so Matt Laslo, being able to speak so many languages, and he decided to speak the truth. And just to give you a little overview of the type of incredible work he does, he goes out every day when Congress is active. He goes to the Capitol. He goes to the where the halls of Congress are. He brings out his microphone and he just blows out questions from you, the people who support his endeavor, Askapol. He's also a teacher at Johns Hopkins University. I don't know how he does everything he does. He also writes for a number of really prominent publications. So he's a real journalist. And he's been trying to get information from the people at the UAP Caucus. And from the very first interview I did with him, it was very easy to identify that he is just as frustrated as I am, or as anybody who holds contempt for politicians would be, because they're not honest people. They posture in front of their constituents because they want your vote. And they do stuff that appears to be right for the people, but the reality is that they only do stuff for the benefit of their own interests. And there are very few politicians who actually work for the people. And I'm sorry if this rubs politicians the wrong way, but that's the way it's always been since the times of the Greeks and the Romans. Politicians have always been like that because power corrupts them and it changes their biology, even their chemistry inside their brains. It changes them. So it's no surprise to me that honest people like Matt Laslo, who are constantly grilling them, is deceived by them. And Laslo already kind of knew that they were not being forthcoming and honest with him, but he finally spoke up. And we don't normally see Laslo writing an actual piece on his website. He just puts out the raw audio and then the transcript of whatever he reports on, which is incredible already. But this is the first time that I've seen him actually do something and write up something for his website. And it's not pretty for politicians. And I am going to read it to you because I think we need to understand the level of fuckery that is going on in Congress right now with the UFO topic. And then we're going to talk about the potential reasons why this just happened. But let's look at Laslo first, yeah? Okay, so here's Matt Laslo saying, Houston, Congress has a UAP problem. The curious case of a non-existent UFO hearing. Are GOP leaders pulling the strings and sabotaging UAP inquiries? What we know, there will not be a hearing next week. And I quote, "We have not had a hearing notice for next week yet, and they have to give a week's notice so we know that there will not be a hearing on that subject next week." End quote. A House Oversight Committee minority staffer confirms to Askapol. And then Laslo asks, what the fuck is up with the UAP caucus? He says, if you're like us, you're asking yourself, what the fuck is up with the Congressional UAP caucus? We only know what our sources know. And in this 119th Congress, sadly, that's meant we haven't known much of anything at all. Like, we've confirmed there's no public UAP hearing next week, but no one's been able to tell us the fate of the classified skiff briefing with whistleblower David Grush that is supposedly being rescheduled for the week of May 12th. Below, find a brief real-time case study in Congressional Ineptitude. Real-time case study and ineptitude, or was this GOP leader's plan all along? Below, find Askapol's rough timeline of the unraveling of next week's UAP hearing. Wednesday evening, Luna confirms UAP hearing. We reported on this. We're still on for next week's public UAP hearing in the House. And then Luna says, yep, without hesitation, apparently. Then on Friday at 10:44 a.m., Dean Johnson broke the news that the hearing was off. I told you about this yesterday. Then Chris Sharp did the same. Then Chris Sharp recanted by saying that somebody else told him the hearings were still on, which was kind of weird. And then Pavel, heard from Sharp himself that things were really volatile in the background and that he didn't really know what was going on. So you can see the ineptitude right there. Then at 11:59 a.m. yesterday, Askapol broke the news that to UAP Caucus members. He didn't specify which UAP Caucus members, but he said, so next week's UAP hearing is off now, huh? And then they said, I haven't heard that. One UAP Caucus said, perplexed. Where did you hear that? Then at 4 a.m. Eastern time, Askapol ramped up the pressure. After returning from lunch with an editor and a doctor's visit, Askapol's Matt Laslo realizes no one, including members of the Congressional UAP Caucus, Secret Task Force, and Oversight Committee aides, has returned his texts or emails. With most congressional offices set to go directly to voicemail at 5 p.m. Eastern sharp, Laslo frantically starts re-emailing and adding sheaves of staffs to unreplied to inquiries, retexting and calling the Oversight Committee directly. Crickets from Congress ensued. That's fucked up. At 4:37 p.m., Oversight minority staff laps lawmakers. With minutes to spare before the Capitol complex goes quiet for the weekend, a Democratic staffer answers the Oversight Committee's minority line. And I quote, we have not had a hearing notice for next week yet, and they have to give a week's notice. So we know that there will not be a hearing on that subject next week. We already told you this. Then any word on a new date? Laslo asked. Then they say it's possible that they're still planning to do it. They just haven't told us yet. So we don't know which date or whether it will happen in the future. At 4:48 p.m. on Friday, UAP Caucus member number 2, unnamed, still no word from the first UAP Caucus member we pinged. But after sharing what the oversight staffer told us at 4:48 p.m. Eastern Time, we finally get a response, not an answer, merely a reply from a second UAP Caucus member. Know what's up? We tested. I don't, but I'll ask, they said. As of publication time, Laslo hadn't gotten an answer yet, which was yesterday during the evening. At 5:08 p.m. Friday, Oversight Majority staff confirms negative. There is not a public hearing next week. Ineptitude, this is the big, important part that you guys need to pay attention to. Laslo says, ineptitude, or did Luna lie to Askapol? Something's off. Still no word on what exactly happened, in part because senior members of the Congressional UAP Caucus and Secret Task Force were left completely in the dark, either by Chair Luna or potentially because of her. It remains unclear whether Luna never intended to give the required notice of the UAP hearing, which would mean she misled or lied to Askapol subscribers earlier in the week, or whether her and her team simply forgot to submit the necessary paperwork. I find that hard to believe. I'm sorry, but based on what I told you how I regard politicians, I think Luna lied. This is just my opinion. You can say whatever you want to me in the comments. I don't care. Stay tuned for the fate of next week's UAP skiff briefing. While we've asked roughly a dozen members of Congress and their aides, Askapol still haven't gotten an answer as to the fate of next week's already rescheduled classified skiff briefing with David Grush, Lou Elizondo, and Arrow. I don't think Lou's gonna attend that one, if you ask me. And if he does, honestly, I don't think he should. Ineptitude UAP Caucus has a new look. Below, find other notable moments from what looks to be Congress currently stalled UAP investigation in the 119th Congress. Number 1, skiff cancellation. Chair Luna, Louis Elizondo, Matt Ford, and Representative Burleson. On April 29, Secret Chair Luna told Askapol their scheduled classified skiff briefing was canceled because newly hired congressional staffer David Grush had a scheduling conflict. And then Lou said something entirely different, which was kind of weird because he said it had something to do with budgets and not UAP. So you can see already the mixed messaging there because they don't talk to each other. And this is something I reported on a previous video. And then Matt Ford responded to Luna and said that her staffers were not telling her the truth. So evidently, Matt Ford is on the side of Louis Elizondo. But that also needs to be under the microscope because you guys saw what happened on the panel last week. And then the UAP Disclosure Fund announced that Dr. Gary Nolan, Matt Ford, and Louis Elizondo were stepping down from their duties and not be a part of the UAP Disclosure Fund anymore. They added new names, including Dr. Ana Brady Estevez. That's all we're going to talk to you guys about here. You can read the rest of this incredible report from Matt Laslo. Honestly, Laslo is doing incredible work, and he deserves every subscription he can get. And if you can, consider a paid subscription. That'd be really cool. But let's see what the potential reasons for this may be. The first one, and the most obvious one, the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, is the Louis Elizondo image debacle. Was that intentional, or was it just a mistake from someone who gets really excited about these topics and just didn't take time to go through a vetting process? Whoever gave him that image, did they know that Lou was going to react that way? Therefore, that's what they did it. Or is there something nefarious going on with Lou? The fact of the matter is, it's possible that the reason a lot of people in Congress seem to be walking back on doing this hearing is because of Lou's involvement and because of what happened with Lou, whether it was intentional or not. That's the reality. So, as I've been saying, I know that he already stepped down from the UAP Disclosure Fund, but Lou probably needs to take a back seat and just continue doing tours with his book or something like that, but just not be involved in this anymore for a while. People need to look into whatever happened with him and just keep him under a microscope in this whole process. There's a lot more people working hard towards this. And what happened there hurt a lot of these efforts. Again, I'm not saying it was intentional. Maybe it wasn't. But that's the effect it got. Another potential reason for the hearings probably being canceled could be Matthew Brown coming forward. Because from what I've been hearing in the background, there's a lot of people that are really unnerved by Matthew Brown coming forward. A lot of the people that may be involved in this Immaculate Constellation stuff, who could potentially be also some of the tech bros that are trying to take over the tech and the subject, are really concerned and they don't want Matthew Brown to testify. So this could also be one of those potential reasons. And something that was overlooked a little bit, but it did catch some level of importance, was that NASA doctor that just came out on the Daily Mail and on the Total Disclosure podcast, talking about being shown footage of a UAP with the United States Air Force sigil on it. That is also concerning for whoever's keeping this secret, because if that is true, it does mean that at least the U.S. Air Force has been involved in some of this stuff and have had some functioning craft for a while. So I can understand that they're trying to protect what they call national security. But man, they need to understand there's no way to put this back to where it was. There's just too many people coming forward, too many. So I guess they're still trying to keep it secret, but I don't think they'll be able to. And as far as Congress and how inept they have behaved over the last couple of weeks, it's not really a surprise. I would worry if somebody got to them and maybe threatened them, because honestly, there's some people that keep saying, oh, they just suck at their job. They're not doing it on purpose. We don't know that for sure. So we can't rule out anything. Maybe they are doing it on purpose and we just don't know about it. But kudos to Matt Laslo for doing this. This is amazing. I hope you can do more of these, because we need your pen and your insight, because you're one of only two people who are there. And honestly, Joe Khalil does great work, but he's not hounding politicians like you are, Matt. So you're unique in that sense. And the fact that you're an amazing writer too, we kind of need more of your insights too, man. So hopefully we can get more of this from you, not just the raw data, which is also amazing. Don't get me wrong, but you can do both, I think. Maybe. Hopefully Ask a Poll can get to a point where you only have to do Ask a Poll. You don't have to do anything else. And you can just give us all of your time and your pen, because we need it, man. Thank you for your work. I'm going to leave everything in the description. Let me know what you think. What do you think was the main reason why this notice didn't arrive to people in Congress for the hearing? Do you think it maybe had something to do with David Grush not having his clearance yet, which was already reinstated last week, by the way? Laslo also reported on it through Representative Burleson. Do you think it was that, or do you think it was Lou? Do you think it was something else? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear you say whatever you got to say. Thank you for your support. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can get notified when new video drops. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description. You can become a member if you want, or you can also support us on KGRA. Whatever you choose to do, thank you for your support as always. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive. Always. Bye.